I'm hereby informing to all the participants that now our meeting is in YouTube live streaming also. I'm posting the link in the chat box. And this meeting will be recorded in the YouTube and Zoom also. You can view later also if you want to review all our previous sessions. Once after completion of our FDP also, you can visualize these in the Siddhi Foundation channel, YouTube channel. Thank you one and all. And now I would like to call upon one by one, because after making it YouTube live streaming, we should not leave it as idle without talking anything. So I request any one of the participants, please introduce yourself to the gathering. Thereby, our today's speaker is about to join with us. We can start the session.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Please, ma'am, please speak.
Yes, ma'am. I am Dr. Hamida Khatun, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, South Chalmara College, Assam.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, and nice to meet you on this platform. And welcome to Siddhi Foundation platform also, because I think you are the newcomer to our Siddhi Foundation. Many milestones we can cross in this journey, ma'am. So please be with us. It is my special request.
Yes,
thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Kumar Gaurav Jain, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please.
Thank you, ma'am. Myself, Dr. Kumar Gaurav Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Government Professional College, Banas Patani, Pauri Garhwal, Uttarakhand. And this FDP program is very nice, and there are so many things relevant to the teaching and creative learnings. And I wish to join again in another FDP also. Thank you much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful feedback. And not only feedback, I request all the participants and all the galaxy of knowledgeful persons here. You can please give the suggestions also if anything need to be incorporated in future, and any changes we need to do. And whatever we had done as in the form of conferences, international conferences, seminars, workshops, FDPs, all have been recorded, and they are present in the Siddhi Foundation YouTube channel. Whenever you feel free, you please watch them, and kindly suggest anything need to be incorporated more, and any mistakes have been done, so that I can overcome, and I can myself change to not to repeat those mistakes in future. The main motto of Siddhi Foundation is to promote academics and research over the nations. So with this aim only, I, as a one-man army, started this small organization, and by the God's grace, it is moving since the last 4 years. And since last 4 years, every month we had organized our international conference, and not only conferences, later on it has been enhanced its services, Siddhi Foundation services, as conducting workshops also, and lecture series and FDPs. And by one more feather added into the crown of Siddhi Foundation, that we had started an academic body also, Siddhi Society for Research and Development, SSRD, which has been registered under the government of Telangana, and SIDBI Foundation has been registered under the government of Andhra Pradesh, and it got ISO certification also, MSME registration also, and our logo is having trademark certification also. And one more feather, last year we had launched one international journal, International Journal of Science, Engineering, Arts and Management, SEAM. SEAM means bouncing back. So with how much energy you through your all your write-ups or your findings or your research, that much bouncing back you can get as in the form of achievement. So with this aim, I had termed this as SEAM. Many of you may know that what is SEAM. SEAM is nothing but bouncing back. So International Journal of Science, Engineering, Arts and Management, and after thorough checking and thorough inspection, continuous monitoring by the ISSN people, New Delhi, our journal got ISSN number also last year by God's grace, and we had completed totally one volume. This is biannual. This journal is biannual. So every 6 months, one issue will be released. So we had completed one volume. That means 2 issues have been completed, and successfully we had entered in the volume 2. Issue 1 is going on. So up to June end, the issue 1 will be issue 1 of volume 2 will be goes on. And one more step we had crawled in this journey is we are about to get DPIT, thereby we are about to get DOI also for our journal. And all the conference proceedings which we are getting from all our conferences, they have been published in our journal also. And some special issues also we are publishing. Those who are interested, interested participants from all our conferences. So whenever you feel free, please watch the websites of SIDBI Foundation, SSRD, and our journal also. Thereby, it is mutually benefited. Like if you are all support SIDBI Foundation and our journal, it will go some heights. So the main motto of SIDBI Foundation is not getting funds, but it is the main motto of behind SIDBI Foundation is to explore the knowledge of our nations. This is my passion. So thanks a lot for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to speak a few words. And our today's speaker is waiting. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Vijay Chandra, sir. It's my privilege and pleasure to invite all our respectable jury members, all the nations from USA, UK, Ghana, Malaysia, Singapore, and all over India. We had jury members and editors, editor-in-chiefs. A very warm welcome to all of them. And the SSRD key persons, especially President sir, and most delightful and distinguished speakers of today's day 3 of this FDP, Mr. Vijay Chandra sir, and all my dear participants, students, and well-wishers, and who are watching online YouTube also. A very warm welcome to one and all. A very green good evening to one and all. So it's my pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Vijay Chandra sir. Sir is serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at the Lendi Institute of Engineering and Technology, Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. And he is currently pursuing his PhD in Electrical Engineering at Veer Surendra Sai University of Technology, and has more than 8 years of experience in teaching, research, and academic monitoring. And SAR's research interests include renewable energy systems, solar, photovoltaic technologies, AI integrated power electronics, smart grids, and multi-level and optimization algorithms for maximum PowerPoint tracking, MPPT, and he has published numerous research articles in reputed SCIE, Scopus Index journals, and IEEE conferences, authored several books, book chapters, and contributed actively to interdisciplinary research initiatives. And thus, recent works focus on ANN-based MPPT technologies, intelligent control strategies, and sustainable energy solutions. Sir has received recognition for his contribution to research, peer review activities, and student project monitoring. And he actively participates in FDPs, workshops, conferences, and academic collaborations aimed at promoting innovation-driven engineering education. And in addition to this, academics and research, Sir contributes to digital learning through his educational platform, lectures by Vijay Chandra. So supporting students with technical and conceptual learning resources in electrical engineering and renewable energy systems. Sir, I myself personally gone and had your lecture once you delivered it in our university, and I had admired being a very younger age. You have much more knowledge, so that's why our jury members have selected you as a speaker for this International FDP. It's my pleasure, sir, to have you. Over to Vijay Chandra, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Arun Kumar. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Yes. So let me share my screen first, and but before I would like to tell you, I'll be sharing my screen first, and then we'll switch to the event.
Yeah, please.
Hope it is visible, and hope my voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, everyone who are present over here. This is J. Vijay Chandra. I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. As ma'am said earlier, I am having 8 years of experience in teaching. Before going to our discussion over this faculty as catalyst in change, that is building global partnership for future engineering education. So let me tell you something about how actually my journey has happened within a short, for just 5 minutes, uh, where I can provide you something big, something what actually I have learned and how quicker I have been transferred or switched towards learning some big things at an earlier stage. See, in 2017, I have taken my career as I've taken my charge as assistant professor in a college in a college where I have come across teaching many subjects, many courses it seems. So it was just 6 months passed, and I came to know that I'm completely nothing because many faculty used to rush to my head of the department where he was highly good in research abilities. So I came to know that there's without going for any kind of research abilities, a faculty in the society is nothing. Even though I came into this profession with a good passion, not with an option, but still I found bit difficulty in arranging my in building my career in a proper manner. So I just have gone through 6 months of evaluation of my abilities. So later I came to know that after completion of one semester, that means 6 months of my in teaching field. So I came to know that my profile have not been built up. So that's the reason. I also came to know that the society teacher has no value. It seems like it is, I mean, teacher has no value means like many of the individuals in the society always used to say a teacher is the one who is going to opt the profession of teaching unless or until he's not going to get, he or she is not going to get something big in their career. But it is completely wrong, and quite it was wrong, because majority of the faculty community used to opt this particular teaching field with the help with only passion itself, not without any kind of option. So that way, in that category, I used to come into the picture. So before going to this particular, before sharing my thought process, etc., I'll be sharing my insights of my, excuse me, yeah. So this is about me. um hope it is visible. Is it visible? Is it visible and I'm
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. As Aruna Kumari ma'am told, I'm currently working as an assistant professor, having an 8 years of experience in teaching, and I'm a research scholar and about to submit my thesis work. I have already published six number of papers in my PhD journey, and I'm an electrical engineer. Uh, I'm an electrical engineer. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. So that I used to teach the subjects ECA, circuit analysis, power electronics, microprocessors, etc. But still, those two subjects, what actually have been mentioned here, that is neural networks and fuzzy logic and AI techniques, that made me to gain all the kinds of abilities what actually I am today. I'll let you know how actually I have been transferred towards this particular thing, and that say I'll be integrating my course, my career to with the title what actually I have been mentioned in the previous slide. So my research contributions, I have 11 indexed journals and 10 national and international journals and 10 conference proceedings, 16 book chapters, and I have been authored 2 books, and I got one copyright as a grant. The books I have been authored as Fundamentals of Artificial Neural Networks and Fundamentals of Electric Vehicles, which are highly useful for the present generation students. And see, I have been ratified as an assistant professor by the University of JNTU Kakinada in 2022, and I'm a AICTE sponsored gate tutor, and I'm being working as a gate tutor at one private academy, Sparks Engineering Academy, Vishakhapatnam. Recently, I have been awarded 1 lakh rupees for the innovative project which I have been provided, which I have been displayed in a hackathon conducted by IIT Tirupati. So that is what the Clear Skies Challenge, and very soon I'm going to receive an award. Very soon I'm going to receive a grant in order to implement the same project in the Vijayanagar district of Andhra Pradesh. And I used to work as a reviewer for many journals and many books here. And the best part I have done in my in my teaching career is I have mentored many students in terms of research activity. So this where 14 papers have already been published and 10 more papers are on online right today. And I have started my own YouTube channel in order to provide digital platform to the student community. That is what my lectures by Vijay Chandra. So this is about me. So before going to this topic, why faculty's role is highly important in anyone's career. So how actually we are going to transform the engineering education with the help of the faculty. So faculty always used to act as a catalyst. Why it is? See, continuing with my earlier discussion. So right after completion of my 6 months of journey in the teaching field, I came to know that a teacher or an individual who is in the profession of teaching is completely nothing if he or she doesn't build any kind of profile. So that's the reason I have started building up a profile. So but the thing is, even in the society we used to come across many kind of toxic environments. So even in our teaching field also we used to come across many toxic environments. So the only way what actually we can expect from the others is the guidance. So unless or until we don't have a proper guidance, so definitely there is no means of having any kind of ability, having any kind of ways in order to improve our abilities. So that's the reason I actually found many struggles in finding the guidance for improving my research capability. So that is where I came to know that. So definitely, if we would like to earn something big, earn something good positions in our career, definitely guidance is highly required. So being a person having a post graduation and 1 year experience in teaching, if I felt lots of struggles in getting a proper guidance even from our own colleagues, So then the question which has been raised in my mind, like, what about the position of a 16 or 17-year-old kid who is going to opt a BTech, engineering education in any engineering college for getting a better life. So that has driven me. That has driven me to work towards, to work towards getting all the kinds of abilities in myself, so that I can easily guide the other students. So the transforming the knowledge from myself to the other, it was what the motto or the career objective what actually I have been meant for. So that is the reason it has been gone through. And see, the main motto is faculty, faculty catalyst, and how actually we are going to transform our core domain into the multidisciplinary domain, etc., etc. So that plays an important role. So in 2018, I actually have been got an opportunity to deal neural networks and fuzzy logic, even though I'm a complete core personality. So I got an opportunity to deal the neural networks and fuzzy logic, which is completely not associated from our core domain. So it is an interdisciplinary domain. It is a multidisciplinary domain, not multidisciplinary domain, where we are going to study multiple subjects over there. So I actually felt nervous while taking that particular course, but later I came to know that that is the only particular course which made me to stand like today. So so 2018 had changed me a lot, where I have with I mean out of all my 40 plus research papers, so 25 to 30 papers are based only on the neural network optimization. So that is where my things have been transferred. So why I'm saying all these things, because so if I would like to if we would like to build some kind of career, so definitely we should not stick to one particular genre. So even though we are from core domain, so if we are sticking to one particular domain like core, like what actually have been mentioned, ECA, circuit analysis, power electronics, all these things, so there is nothing there we cannot meet with the industrial needs and approaches. So that's the reason everyone have to tune their minds towards learning, or towards going to the multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary things, so that we can easily come across doing something big in our career. So if being an individual, as we are in the teaching field, if we are supposed to mention our mind in towards learning something big with respect to interdisciplinary activities, obviously actually we can guide many number of students in such a manner that they also can they also can can learn the things at a very earlier stage. So before going to my concept, so let me wait for a while. Hope this screening is not visible. One minute, please. Yeah. So if you observe clearly, this is what the future of engineering education will not be defined by classrooms alone, but how faculty create global ecosystems for the students. That is what the role of a faculty play an important role here. See, everywhere being a faculty, I used to feel one thing, like, so wherever you are going to get some kind of guidance. So lack of guidance make any student to learn good things. So if you are going to provide good guidance to our student community, so definitely we can make them to build their career in an effective manner. But the question mark is, what kind of guidance we have to provide? So in order to provide some kind of guidance, what kind of skill set we used to possess? So that is what the question mark in each and every um, individual of the faculty community who is teaching right today. Because sir, because my dear participants, as we are living in this particular society, definitely there many individuals used to question our duties. They always used to say, like, yeah, teaching is a profession where they used to come with an option without having any kind of things, without having any opportunities in the earlier stages. So that's the reason they used to come to the college for teaching purpose. And at the same time, they also used to humiliate us in such a manner, like they'll go for teaching the class just with respect to teaching the class. Hello, is it okay? Hello, sir. Hello.
Sir, some echo is coming from your end, I think, because you
Sorry,
had
sorry.
some echo is coming from your end only, sir.
Okay, okay. I'll check it once.
Okay.
Is it okay, madam?
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. So they so majority of the individuals usually say like teaching is a profession where they used to come with an option but not with a passion. And also they used to say like, simply giving 1 hour of lecture to the student community and coming back to their cabin, sitting idle and watching some kind of reels, etc. But never and ever a teacher is the one who is going to stay like this, because every teacher in this particular society always used to give their always used to transfer their knowledge to the other individuals. So that is what called the guidance what actually we have been providing. So in order to provide guidance, definitely an individual teacher have to learn many things. So that is what the criteria we have to set it. And I'm not saying being an electrical engineering faculty, I'm not saying that I was having knowledge about the total kinds of subjects what actually we are processing. I used to focus on 3 to 4 major subjects where that can be useful for the gate people, and that can be useful with for interacting with the industry driven activities. So we have to guide in such a manner that um, so we have to learn something big in our career, and that knowledge have to be shared to the other people. So that is what the thing. So this is what the slide which we would like to consider here. So tomorrow's engineers need more than technical knowledge. They need global competence, innovation mindset, sustainability awareness, and the interdisciplinary task skills what actually I have been mentioned earlier. So earlier I used to teach only 2 subjects: circuit analysis, power electronics, which are highly, completed with a core domain. But of course, they are highly useful because gate level examinations are going to be asked many number of questions from those particular things. That was fine. But right today, the industrial perceptions have been changed. So definitely, we need to change. So we need to make our student community, or the engineers the students who used to consider this BTech degree or post graduation degree. So we need to make them to guide in such a manner that so lots of opportunities are going to be available in the industry. But one thing we have to do is one thing they have to consider is, so we need to consider them like uh, different skills have to be learned, and those kind of skills cannot be confined only with the technical core what actually they are going to study, but also with respect to the condition linked with all the kinds of interdisciplinary activities. So that is what. So now the question is how actually we are going to make these mindsets to be turned off, and what sort of awareness to be provided, and what sort of guidance to be given to the people, where they are going to match with the industry oriented skills, and how actually the core domain is going to be completely fetched or matching with the interdisciplinary domain. So that is what the case we are going to be find out, and that is what the problem each and every faculty right today is going to be facing. Okay, so uh, this is the only reason why engineering education must transform. See, the major challenges, if you observe here, so I have been mentioned. So the challenges here, it's like, excuse me. Yeah, I don't have our option. Okay, excuse me. So current challenges, if you observe here, so we have the traditional teaching methods. Yes, this was actually correct, because majority of the faculty individuals used to carry with this particular approach. So that is lecture centric, where we the individual teachers used to give some kind of lectures, and we'll ask the student community to learn something from us. So that is where we can consider it as what rote learning. And and the second one, if you observe the curriculum what actually we are going to be designed, and we have been designed, and we are going to provide to the student community, is not up to the mark as according to the National Education Policy 2020, they are saying like the curriculum has to be you know, integrated with the industrial expertises, industrial challenges. So before 2020, it was quite not similar to this particular thing. So that's the reason the majority of the committees, what actually, I mean, how actually have been formed by many other individuals, they came to say like uh, they came to know like there is a skill gap between academia and industry, so that there is a necessity or need to make the academia and skill industry to be what skillful. And see, as I told earlier, so there is a lack of interdisciplinary exposure. So we should not confine to only one particular aspect. We should not is a electrical graduate should not be confined to an electrical engineering. He also have to apply. He also have to make I mean, tune or ready to be ready in such a manner that he has to apply this electrical engineering applications with the help of machine learning techniques, or with the help of any other AI techniques, what actually we can consider. And the major conflict or the challenge what actually we are facing right today is, so the global international collaboration is very limited. So that is where we are highly switching to, we are highly suffering enough. So we need to focus on those particular things. So definitely, so if we are going to have a international teacher, and if we are going to have an faculty development program or an internship activity through online, so they, if we are going to have a collaboration with them, definitely we can get some kind of skills, so that we can transfer the same kind of skills to the student community, or else we also can make the students all to be learned with the kind of platform what actually they are going to be provided. So everywhere the interaction or the collaboration with international persons or individuals play an important role, but where we are highly challenged, where we are highly lacking enough in meeting that particular challenge. And see, we are having fast innovation, technological changes have been going on right today, where we are not supposed to meet it out in a proper manner. So that's the reason. So based on these things, how actually we can transform, how Madam Aruna Kumari, madam, is it okay, is it audible?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, thank you. So that's the reason we have to work with some more trends. So we have to, work on those kind of limitations or the challenges what actually right now, or right not right now, even right now it is facing in our country. So how actually we can consider here what sort of activities to be done, etc., etc. If you observe clearly, we have current trends. So primary thing after COVID is what the artificial intelligence. So every student individual, each and every human individual is going to be asking, is going to be tackling with the condition called artificial intelligence. So we need to mention this artificial intelligence in our educational sector. So where we can go with some kind of intelligent tutoring. So that is what the major criteria which have to be considered. So automated assessments have to be done, because the rote learning process have to be eliminated. So if we are supposed to eliminate the rote learning process, definitely there might be a chance of getting something big in our career. So similarly, we have different digital learning ecosystems. So it's like today, for example, if you would like to prepare for engineering services examination, or a gate national level gate like examination, or TOEFL, whatever it may be. So there are many digital platforms came into the picture. So where they are providing their, where they are giving their giving or transforming their knowledge with the digital platform. So based on this particular thing, in COVID time, I have started my YouTube channel. So I actually have started my YouTube channel. So where I have been mentioned 150 videos, which was just 1 minute to 2 minutes of duration, where I have been given a simple explanation or a simple explanation to some kind of core concepts what actually it has been available. So digital learning ecosystems I have been initiated, digital learning systems have been initiated in COVID time. So where I have gained lots of ability. So because I came to know that many students have been watched my lectures and videos. So where I have been happy, where I actually have been gone through lots of good doubt solving sessions through those videos. So that is what actually highly required in current day, because rote learning has to be eliminated at the very earliest stage. And we have different virtual laboratories. We actually know, IIT Madras, different IIT, many IITs have been gone through these kind of virtual environments. Virtual laboratories have been provided. So even right now the students are right after 2020, they are just focusing on this particular virtual laboratories. And fourth one is this smart classrooms that plays an important role. So because everything is completely related with the smart internet of things, so we can get lots of things. So irrespective, I mean, instead of using a piece of chalk and a blackboard, so if you are switching towards some kind of technology enable, or in some kind of interactive enable sessions in the classroom, so definitely there might be a change of mindset in the student community, where peer-to-peer learning is going to be possible. So that's where we can easily get something big in our career. So outcome based education, that plays an important role. So because, so in the earlier, what actually have been provided, the rote learning or the traditional teaching methods, we actually have focused only on output based education. So that means what, as we are teaching something, we are focusing on some kind of result analysis. And if he or she is going to get some kind of marks there, we are sending them, okay, that was fine. But what is the outcome? What is the outcome after learning that particular course, or learning that particular uh, you know uh, concept, etc. So that is where it is highly necessary outcome based education. And finally, the experiential learning, where we can transfer, not we where many individuals can transfer their knowledge. That is, peer to peer learning can be highly possible with this particular experiential learning, where they can do many kind of projects. So the interactions can be done, many mindsets can be integrated, so internships can be done, so they can go outside for performing some kind of case studies. They can write some kind of literature surveys on their problem solving things, and they can work on real world problem solving. So this is the only reason, so why engineering education must transform. Of course, in many of the many of the countries like India and other countries, so we are focusing on this particular current trends, but still we in the sense, many student community are facing lots of difficulties. So being a faculty, we have to take some kind of responsibility in making this particular lacuna or gap to fill, so that he or she can attain good guidance from ourselves, so that he or she can get their I mean, build their career in an effective manner. So that is what actually it is highly important. So what are the different roles here? So being a faculty, in order to transform those things, so what are the roles of a faculty? So that is what I have been mentioned here. If you observe clearly, so we need to act as a mentor. So where, see, I'm so happy to share my insights also here. So as mentoring a particular student is not an easy task. So dealing with an 18-year or 19-year old kid mindset is not an easy task, where I have been mentioned all these things. See, if you observe clearly in my slide, which I have been presented earlier, so I have mentored many students in order to publish their papers in many reputed journals and conferences. So I always used to guide them to present their research in many international conferences. So that means, why the reason, recently UGC chairman has given something like, if a BTech graduate is going to if a BTech undergraduate is going to qualify in UGC net examination, so definitely he or she will be promoted. He or she will be given a chance to pursue their PhD directly without pursuing their MTech. So that is what actually I came to know. So UGC net. So for pursuing something, so if we are able to make their mindsets to work on that particular area, so definitely there might be a chance of getting something big. So that is where I have started working on my mentoring the students towards research side and some part in gate or IS orientation side. So if you are going to qualify in gate like examination, that score will be valid for 3 years, where we can pursue our MTech degree in IITs or NITs or in any good kind of reputed institutions, where he or she can improve their abilities. Higher education can be can be bagged into their pockets. So that is what the ability we are going to transfer. So mentoring play an important role everywhere. So similarly, we have researchers. We must be the researcher. We need to learn many things, so that we need to get good knowledge, so that we can easily transfer the same kind of knowledge to the young mindsets right today. And at the same time, we have to be like an innovator. So where we need to create the solutions by working on already existing problems, or we can take any kind of other problem where we can focus enough. So that's what the internship activities have to be done. So that's where we can consider with respect to the industry, collaboration with the industry play an important role. So that's highly important for anything. And we need to give some kind of support to the student community for transforming their mindsets towards towards startup buildings, etc. And that is where we need to focus it. And the ultimate and or the best approach what actually we can do is what the technology adapter. And we need to focus with respect to the current technology. We need to go with the current technology. So the integration of current technology with already existing solutions or already existing problems can definitely provide us something big in the student career. So that is where the faculty's role is going to be what termed as a highest one. So how actually we can get something big. So if we would like to fulfill all these things, we cannot fulfill with a single mindset. So we have to go with some kind of integration abilities. So that's where the curriculum transformation, as I told you in the very beginning, so majority of the students are just going with the rote learning concepts. So we are not in the position of knowing what actually we are supposed to consider. So that is the only reason we have to design our curriculums in such a manner that it must meet the students' interest, must meet with the industry needs. So that is what actually the assessment or the analysis have to be done here. So of course, in the recent from the recent 2 years, 2 to 3 years, this change has already been begun. So there is a good gap. There is a good improvement in the curriculum design. Curriculum transformation has already been done. So many of the industrial experts are going to be acting as the board of studies members. So that's where we can get some kind of inputs from them. So that is where the multidisciplinary learning or the industry oriented curriculum has been gone through. And second one is what you're dealing with the emerging technologies, what actually it was there right today. So because when we are focusing on this particular domain knowledge, so definitely we need to integrate them with the current technologies or current which is nothing but what the AI technologies, machine learning techniques, whatever it may be. So that's the reason everywhere we the individual faculty have to guide the students in such a manner that, so we need to make them to learn, we need to make them to integrate with other disciplinary branches of student community. So where the peer-to-peer learning can be highly possible. Along with that, so even though a 18-year-old student is having proper mindset, I mean, is having no intention towards learning something big, but we need to guide them in such a manner that they have to they have to read some kind of research papers, because the future is the research itself. So even our prime minister used to say there is a highest scope in the research industry. So we need to train the student community or the future engineers to focus only on research activities. R&D centers are going to be developed soon. So in fact, this is one of the reason where the UGC has already been changed something. Like as I mentioned you in the, as I mentioned you in the earlier slides, like recently the UGC chairman has issued a thing like if they are going to qualify in UGC, if they are going to clear the UGC net examination, they can easily pursue a PhD degree. So PhD is nothing but for the research activities part actually. So that is where even the government is also going to have some kind of good initiatives over here, but still what actually we are going to do is play an important role. So as digital pedagogy, so LMS platforms, so right now the NPTEL is giving MOOCs courses, massive open online courses playing an important role. So many students have been habituated towards those particular things. So we are getting swayam things, IIT, different IITs providing NPTEL courses, and Udemy and Coursera, and many more platforms are providing something good for us. So that's where we are highly good enough to have all these things, where we can transfer the student community to learn all these things, to adapt to these particular things. So we need to go with some kind of integration things, sustainable development goals we need to achieve. So that's what it is highly needed. So major aspect is what how actually we are going to collaborate with the global people. So global academia play an important role in making any particular person or a student individual to learn something big in their career. So that is what actually we have to go through. So for that we need to initiate some kind of student exchange programs, like how actually the learning is going to be done in other countries and other universities, other top reputed universities, how the learning is going to be assessed over here. So that is what it is highly needed. And we also have to collaborate with the other people in developing some kind of research projects where the peer-to-peer learning mechanism can be highly improved. Along with that, we being the we have to go with we have to go with conducting or participating many faculty development programs where the knowledge can be shared, the interaction can be highly completed, etc. And best one is, every student right today in this particular current in this generation or in this current generation have to deal with good research publications. So their minds have to be switched towards writing some kind of research papers, reading some kind of good research articles, presenting their papers in the international conferences, national conferences, in between many symposiums. That is highly important for any individuals. So similarly, we do have virtual international classrooms where I told you earlier. So we have to deal with the other people in the foreign or the foreign countries. So we need to interact with them. What actually we can. So for doing all these things, so we have to go with some kind of platforms. So that's where we have different research platforms like IEEE. Everywhere, every time it is conducting lots of conferences. So many faculty used to present their papers in the IEEE conferences and Springer book chapters, whatever the journals we are going to have with respect to elsewhere. And we have different collaborations like AICTE, Global Innovation Networks. So whatever the platforms we used to consider, so all these platforms must be useful for the development of a student career. So the ultimate goal is what? So if being the faculty like us, so always we used to try our best in order to make the student to learn something big. So at the same time, we also trying ourselves to learn and to adapt to the technological aspects what actually it was going on right today in the current global world. So being a faculty, we have to learn something big. So there is a proverb in aviation industry. So when we are going through the when we are going in a plane or a flight, when there is a turbulence or any kind of undefined situation occurs, definitely there is a proverb called, there is a sentence called like, if you would like to save other child, so definitely you have to save yourself. So that means what, we have to take the oxygen mask first in order to make the other two, make them alive. So similarly, we need to learn many things. Yes, of course, being a faculty, never we used to stay sluggish. We always used to learn many things because faculty are the individuals who always used to come into this particular field with a kind of passion, not with an option like what actually the society used to think. So likewise, we have learned many things and we are learning continuously, and we just the only thing is like I came to know in this particular 8 years of teaching, in my experience, I came to know that the student is completely completely suffering with lack of guidance, not with the poverty or any kind of situations. He or she is completely having lack of guidance. That's if we are going to bridge a gap between that particular thing, that particular mindset and this, so definitely we are in the position of making any kind of particular individual student to learn or grow in a certain manner. So that is where the skill, so that's the reason we need to go with skill matrix. So this is what is, technical skills we need to provide, professional skills we need to work it out, global skills. So technical skills, right now everything is interdisciplinary, we need to focus on the technological advancements. So that is where everyone is going to teach us. So even the prime minister, right from the prime minister to the principal, everyone used to consider like technological advancements is playing an important role right today in each and everyone's career. So definitely there might be a chance, there must be a priority to be given to that particular technological change. So that's the reason since past 5 years, if you observe clearly, so AI is into the picture. AI comes into the picture where it is being getting integrated with all the kinds of platforms. So as being an electrical engineering student, I used to integrate my solar energy systems to what the AI platform where not where I used to focus more on artificial neural networks and optimization techniques, all these things. So IoT right now, smart grid is the one which is powering the entire world here. So we are just integrating all the kinds of current and voltage sensor, power sensor, what sort of sensors, what sorts of relays, what actually we are focusing, we are going to have in our power industry right now. It is being integrated with IoT technologies. That is what it is also important. So the data analytics, so interpretation of the data plays an important role. That is, there are lots of skills. There are lots of platforms we used to have in order to learn all these things. So that's what we need to focus here. So technically, we must be very strong. Being a faculty, we have to be strong. Of course, we are doing strong, good things in learning, good things in a proper manner. But at the same time, we should make the student community we also should mentor the student community in such a manner that they also have to adopt these kind of technological advancements or changes at the very earliest stage in their career. So that's where we can complete good things. And similarly, even though they are going to learn something big in their career, and whichever the percentages they are going to get, but professionally they have to be very good. So the professional skills like leadership, communication, which is highly a big challenge, which is a big challenge for each and every rural community background student. So that is where we are focusing, and we are guiding them in an effective manner by representing or by providing lots of good platforms and teamwork, that play an important role, of course, obviously. And see, some sort of global skills, like we need to have some kind of innovation mindset, and we need to have some kind of we have to switch our mindsets towards learning in different platforms. We need to collaborate with international personalities in order to gain some kind of knowledge. All these things have to be there. So this is what your skill matrix, so where each and every individual have to be considered. So this is faculty as researchers. So we have many things. So this is what my research activity I have been shown you here. So basically I'm from electrical department. So my focus is on solar energy application. And when I'm going to connect to the grid, there is a term called maximum power point tracking, where we are going to harvest maximum power from the solar panel. So for analyzing that solar controller, so I used to take help of my interdisciplinary things like machine learning techniques, deep learning techniques, artificial intelligence platforms, and optimize the different optimization algorithms, etc. Even though, of course, I have been developed 3 optimization algorithms based on cricket and other things. So very soon, I'm going to publish those things. So main thing is like being a mentor. what actually we have to do, we need to mentor the student projects. We see, these are the things what actually have been mentioned, I have been done in my teaching experience. I have mentored many student projects, it's like 20. And simulation based learning I have been gone through. I just have focused more focused on MATLAB environment, and right now we are making them to focus with different technological advancements. So I always used to guide the students in such a manner that I want them to write some kind of papers. I want them to write, present their papers in the conference, so they will come to know their abilities. So that is what actually I was wishing for from themselves. So what actually I would like to conclude is like, so the transformation has to be done. So definitely the transformation has to be done. So of course the transformation has already been begun. We being the educators, or we being the facilitators or the faculty members, we need to focus on what actually the student, right, current student have to know, current student requires, and we need to make them or guide them or mentor them in such a manner that there must be no gap between the industry and the current academia. So that is what the skills, what that is what the way what actually we would like to consider. And I'm extending my sincere thanks to each and everyone who has listened to my talk very patiently. And at the same time, I also would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Aruna Kumari ma'am, who has given me an opportunity towards towards this particular platform where I have been got a chance to interact or deliver my talk with many experts who are present over here. Thank you. Namaste. Madam? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, please, sir. Yes, please.
Yeah, madam. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much for your opportunity. So I'm so happy for it
My
because this
pleasure,
is
sir.
one of
It's my pleasure, and my special thanks to my brother, Mr. A. Ganesh Babu, sir, who introduced you
Yes.
to me. I request anyone from the participant side who wish to interact with Vijay Chandra, sir, it is welcome. Anybody from the audience side, please interact with Vijay Chandra, sir.
Good evening, everybody. If no one is, I mean, I can be the second also if someone else is ready to speak.
No, ma'am, please continue.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Excellent speech, and we are very much in tune with what you are telling. Really loved the way you have projected about what you are doing. See, that is what we all want to know through this
Thank
FDP
you.
program. What is it
Thank
that we are doing so that it is helping both the students as well as our growth? That's what
Yes.
we are doing. And such kind of faculty development programs do help us in making others know what they are doing while looking at others what they are doing. So if I get
Yes.
to see, if I get to hear what you are doing, I will definitely understand, oh, this is what even I was doing, or this is what even I intend to do, or this is something that is new to me. So that itself is a growth. That itself is some kind of a development. And I really have to appreciate the kind of efforts you have towards yourself, towards the students. You said that you have you have mentored some around more than 20 students, and that's really a big number. And of course, numbers are numbers, but the kind of immense importance you have given to them while mentoring, because it's not an easy thing. We say that I am mentoring someone means you are dedicating a lot of your precious time towards their growth, development, and into their own pursuits what they are doing. And really,
Yes.
it's a commendable job. Along with our career, along with our personal and professional, we are taking care of someone else also. In all ways, mentoring itself says that not just academic, not just the time that we spend together, but it's all the way. It's like a wholesome. And if you're looking at students in a wholesome manner, that's something you are really doing, which is commendable. And really, we have to appreciate you. And thank you that you are giving us talking to us about what you have been doing, so that it helps others also. Like, for example, I would like to listen to what someone is doing so I can improve myself. Or
Yes.
I can see whether even I am also doing like that, or what is it that I am doing. So it becomes an assessment for self in a positive manner, of course, but it really adds a lot of value to our own self. So even I will pat my back and say, oh, Gayatri, even you are doing like this. Good. So, or something that I can do, someone else is doing, so even I can do. So it really becomes a very good way to understand what others are doing and what you are doing. I have to really say that, because these days, not only with NEP, even with the times that we are trending in, with this kind of a digi era that we are in, it's not just about sharing knowledge or improving ourselves, it's more of application. And you have really rightly mentioned that application is more important, and how do you apply everything that you're learning, making them very much industry ready. You have given good examples for that, and I really appreciate you for the help that you are doing to students, to the organization, and indirectly to self too, because by talking to students, by being with them, it becomes a very great learning for us also. With the self experience, I am able to say that. And I think you will, everyone over here along with you will agree with what I'm saying. So it's really been it's really a very nice, wonderful time that we were hearing to you. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Gopika ma'am, do you wish to interact with Vijay Chandra sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Good evening.
Today's session was truly informative and inspiring. Also, the
Thank you.
concept clearly explained, making the session engaging and easy to understand also. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience, and also valuable insights with such dedication. Your effort and presentation made the session meaningful and motivating for everyone. Also, heartfelt thanks for the wonderful and learning experience. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody more who wish to interact with sir is welcome. Anybody else?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Please, ma'am.
I am Deborah, assistant professor in biochemistry. So
Yes,
sir, you are not only a mentor for the students, you are also mentor for the staff also, sir. So we are very inspired by your talk, and it is a motivational speech for us, sir. Thank you, sir,
Thank
for
you. Thank you.
progress. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Whatever the teaching fraternity or a researcher will develop her or his innovativeness in the form of their research or in the form of their inventions and innovations. First of all, that work must be documented. This is a proven fact. Without documentation, whatever we do, that is nothing in my views. Sir had given us a boosting to all of us. Thinking is not only the criteria, whatever we think that must be on paper, and that paper must be documented in either the forms like publications or copyrights or books, whatever. But only one thing, sir, digging in my mind and struggling many days, since many days. Many institutions, even it is a small or bigger one, they are not providing such a platform to do the research work first point, but they are giving pressure on the faculty members to publish the papers with the name of the college especially, and in a highly very reputed journals like SCI or Scopus Index like that. They are not at all providing the platform, but in return they are forcing the faculty members to do like so. And nowadays that much genuine journals also are not available, because if they are available, they are too much costlier rather than our salaries. So what exactly your suggestion for this?
The suggestion is like, yes, the things what actually you have been mentioned is right. That is up to the mark, because we can, being a faculty, I also would like to say like there are some things to be transformed in each and every educational sector. So the faculty have to be given some kind of time. So it's not the thing related to the classroom teaching or some mentoring, etc. If you would like to personally grow, if you would like to see upon, if you are going to make yourself increasing the experience in teaching, so definitely someone like you or other fellow will look after your profile build up. So we need to focus on that. So of course, uh, the current organizations, the current reputed institutions, uh, they have to come forward in providing some kind of good initiatives to the faculty community, so that they can work more on their research abilities. So because wherever you go, if you are supposed to increase your experience in your resume or in your pocket, definitely um, your profile have to be speak. So in order to make your profile have to be speak, definitely there must be a kind of support we have to urge from the higher officials. So that's really a big concern right now. Hopefully it is going to be it is going to be especially very soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Anybody else wish to speak about this point? Anybody else from the participant side wish to speak about the documentation work of your own research? Thank you, Vijay Chandra sir, and being an elder than you, I wish to bless you. In future, you must acquire and accumulate and achieve many more acknowledgements and many colorful feathers into your crowns. All the
Thank
very
you.
best, and please remember that City Foundation is also behind you. And
Yeah.
whenever you please be in contact with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, madam. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
This is of first technical session of day 3. It's my pleasure from bottom of the heart to say my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Vijay Chandra sir, who had spared his valuable time since last 3 to 4 years. He used to be in contact with me, what to do with respect to this talk and this FDP. And thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time, whatever you had spared with us to explore and to extend your knowledge to this platform. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, madam.
And with the permission of all jury members and my elderly persons of Sylvie
Madam, someone is talking here.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you,
So,
madam.
with the permission of my respected jury members and elderly persons of Siddhi Foundation and SSRD, and distinguished guests and speakers of this FDP, I would like to move to the technical session 2, that is international speech by the I request Dr. Gayatri ma'am to introduce today's international speaker.
Sure, ma'am. I take the privilege of, good evening, everybody, once again. I take the privilege of announcing the second speaker's name for the day, and a young researcher, a young artist, and someone who has been to the passion to the core, and wanting to do what she always loved and loved whatever she wanted to do. And this is none other than Santrupti Das. By designation, she is an architect, artist, designer, educator, whatnot, a transdisciplinary practitioner. She has been a researcher with her work focused around the concept of folding and unfolding. She holds a graduate degree in art and design education from Rhode Island School of Design, RISD, USA, with a certificate in collegiate teaching and a bachelor's in architecture from School of Planning and Architecture, SPA, New Delhi. Starting off with an interest in origami as a kid, she pursued her passion and has been folding for the past 20 plus years. She has taught globally with schools, colleges, museums, libraries, hospitals, and nonprofits, including Massachusetts Institute of Technology, University of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Delhi, Bangalore, and Bhubaneswar. As the founder of the Folded Universe, a multi-hyphenated practice that works across scales, materials, themes, and with various audiences, Santrupti is committed to using folding as an experience to convey narratives, design transformative spaces, create learning tools, conduct academic research, build communities, and ultimately see the oneness of ourselves with the universe. Santrupti also heads the Origami Therapy Association of India, which is committed to fostering community well-being through folding. With a strength-based lens, her teaching and learning spaces celebrate abilities and are specially curated for inclusive participation. Welcome, Santrupti Das. Welcome to this wonderful session that we are going to have with you. And I'm sure that you are going to really make us know something more and widen our horizons in the field of folding and unfolding. Here it is to you, Santrupti. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And it is a pleasure and honor to be presenting here. And thank you for your kind words. Can I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
Yes, Santrupti. Yes.
Yeah. Is this visible to everybody?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. So, thank you all of you for coming in here, listening to this faculty development program about my own work around teaching and the other things that I do that we'll discuss here. So there was a question that I came across when I started working professionally, that is my creative practice different from my teaching practice, or are they somewhere colliding? So here today I introduce this topic, which is teaching as a creative practice. This is something that a well-known educator, Bell Hooks, says, that teaching itself is an artistic practice. And I would want to, through this presentation, take you through a journey of what it has been for me to conclude that teaching has been my creative practice. So this is about sustaining an active industry, creative and pedagogical practice in transdisciplinary education. Yeah, so like Dr. Gayatri has already introduced me, yes, I hold an MA in Art and Design Education and Collegiate Teaching from the Rhode Island School of Design, and I'm an architect by training. Currently, I work as a primary years program educator with an IB co-school. So yeah, I transition between teaching 3-year-olds and 5-year-olds and teaching adults, and then also working in spaces of geriatric care. These are some of the key creative and teaching experiences I've probably had in the last 3-4 years. So again, like Dr. Gayatri has already read out my profile, I have worked across design universities, technical universities, engineering colleges, national conferences. For example, the Imagine America National Conference is about policy making for the state, for the country. Providence Parks is a public park association. Therapy associations are there, which talk of psychotherapy, and then AIMS Delhi does the same thing. Architecture colleges are there. There are science museums, natural history museums, organizations that work for the advocacy of disability rights. So this has been, I would say, a little more than a breadbasket of sorts. And most of the times when I do a faculty development program like this is a great opportunity for even me to reflect on how all of this ties together in my practice. I really wanted to start off by a little bit of a writing that I'd put into my graduate thesis, and I really wanted to read this part on the right, which was about pluralism in my practice. And I said that I would not have been the educator that I am had I not been the architect that I am. And I would not have seen the endless possibilities with folding if I was not exposed to the endless possibilities in everything else. So for me, this has been a way not only of my professional practice, but also the way I look at life itself. And just the gist of what I write on the left side is something on those lines about how I lived across cities, I lived across different social communities, and how that gave me the power to not just pick one thing, but to pick everything together. I will come to my definition of transdisciplinary in a bit. Before that, I really wanted to highlight this, that here what I'm claiming the most is that the active practice is what keeps teaching alive. Otherwise, it's going to be this one mundane thing, curriculum after curriculum, year after year, you're just teaching the same thing. But here, because I have these two spaces that I operate out of, one is the classroom, the other is the studio, it keeps my teaching reflective. I know what I'm teaching is currently trending and it is socially engaging. And hence, I did mention these are two spaces, but at the back end, they also are one space. This is not a pause from what I do in the studio. Classroom then becomes a space that actually deepens what happens in the studio, and they have a symbiotic relationship with each other. So this is what happened in my life, where I was interested in both math and the arts. And as a school student, it felt like the system asked me to pick one of those, right? Either you're too good at math or you really love art. And for me, I just felt like I could not choose one. And hence I picked architecture, which was a space that was a confluence of the technicality of mathematics and science, but also the subjectivity of art and the liberal arts. And from there, I transitioned into a transdisciplinary practice over time, where it first was a multidisciplinary practice, which was the math separately, the art separately, and then the architecture separately. Till that age, even origami for me was still a hobby and architecture was the profession. But as we move forward, I'll tell you where that transition happened, and it moved from a multidisciplinary practice to a cross-disciplinary, and then finally transcending into a transdisciplinary practice. This was my thesis, graduate thesis, one of the excerpts that I showed you previously. And here I wanted to put a picture of it to show you how I was thinking of a thesis, not only as a book in the library, but also as an object, an experience. Here, you open the thesis and it opens into a Pandora box of sorts, where there are these experiences of really folding and unfolding the pages as you read them. And I really wanted the reader, the person who's trying to engage with my work, to not only read this as academic research, which it obviously is, but also see it as an artwork. And here I opened my thesis with a Sanskrit quote, which is Tattvam Asi, which from the Samveda, which actually means thou art that, which is that everything in the universe is another thing. So it's like the oneness of the universe, the circularity of how Eastern philosophy works. And that is where I could start to see these multidisciplinary spaces come together. And here, one of the opening images in my thesis is also a juxtaposition of an artwork from when I was 4 years old and an artwork from when I wrote this thesis. About this part here, which is a transparent box here, I will speak more towards the end of this entire presentation, but I'd love for you to keep this image in your mind a little bit, whatever you see, whatever bit of it that you grasp at the moment. So, coming to the big word transdisciplinary, and a lot of us actually interchangeably use the words multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, and transdisciplinary. What it actually means to have a transdisciplinary practice is, when I say math and art, these are not, the work that I do cannot be isolated into just math or into just art. To put it simply, cooking, something that we do every single day or something that is happening every single day around us, is not just, you know, heating ingredients together. There's a lot of chemistry involved, there is food science involved, there is the passing on of recipes or traditions, there is how plants grow or how produce is made, any kind of produce, and how cooking itself is a skill. So you do not see the chemistry in isolation of the ecology and isolation of the skill. It all comes together to produce that cooked meal. Somebody who understands several languages or communicates in several languages, who's called a polyglot, then understands and thinks across languages. When I was doing this master's in education, I was not only looking at the word teacher, but also at the word guru, which is a Sanskrit or a Hindi word, and in many other Indian languages we have this word, but we do not really have a translation of the word in English or a lot of Western languages. However, when you do communicate across languages, you realize that it is all right sometimes to not translate everything, because that holds value there. Or we keep using the words, the anglicized versions, karma and dharma, but they come back to karma and dharma, which is very much Indian. So where that was taking me was to not be a super specialist in one field of interest, but to have, which is usually called a T-shaped personality, but to have a comb-shaped personality, which means, hey, these are the 5 things I'm interested in, so I am actually going to engage in all 5 of them. Instead of, you know, keeping one for the, you know, summer break, one for the evening, one for Sunday. No. Everything comes together and hence brings about the practice that we have. And as educators, we actually keep doing that all around us. Somebody who's teaching English cannot teach it in isolation of the contextual history of the piece that they are talking about. You cannot talk of Shakespeare in isolation of when he existed in time and space and the geography that he existed in. So here are 2 workshops, one in Kolkata with interior design students and the other in Hyderabad with architecture students, where we are learning origami, we are learning structure, but there are certain similarities and differences if you notice. Anybody who wants to put in what they see as similarities here? Looks like a little silent class. Okay, so you do see white paper in both, right? Because the point here in both these workshops was more about understanding the form and creation, and a little less about exact colors and exact final outputs. It was more about the process. However, a similar workshop here done for kids. The first image here is from the school that I teach in. So the kids made these geometric shapes out of folding. And here there is a little child who is working on a really similar pattern that you see here in an architecture college. Here the child is working on it, and he's also exploring what it would mean to have, you know, the symmetry of these colors. And hence the material that we teach with comes again from a memory or a knowledge experience of the practice that we do. This one is, the smaller image is a work in progress, and the final one is here on the backdrop, is from Imagine America. To the layperson, this might just seem like, okay, this is just some crumpled, folded paper just put together. I would really like to push back on that and say that what you're seeing, a work in progress, is actually policymakers, professors, academic heads talking about how systems theory works. It does look like a child summer camp activity, but here we are talking about how can we make people work together? How do groups work? How do I put in my opinion into a group discussion while there is an existing conversation happening? And a visual translation of that ended up being this piece that you see on the back, which is every participant of this workshop actually starts to put their piece in context of the existing piece. And not only putting the physical piece there, we were also putting in our ideas as we were communicating and putting this work together. So there is always a backstory, and that backstory, I strongly believe, comes from the transdisciplinary space that we exist in. And I think it is kind of a little bit of a rhetoric to actually say that I am a transdisciplinary practitioner, because I think all of us are. Even if we didn't go to work, we are transdisciplinary practitioners in all the ways that we exist. Now, here's another piece. The left is the first time this was exhibited. The right is the second time it was exhibited. The first is exhibited in a gallery space where people come and look at this piece. It was called a fractal wall. These are some 200 pieces of origami fractal modules. Fractals are repeating patterns in the art world, art and design world. And this is how we came up with a wall. Also a suggestion of how this would look like in an interior space. However, if you look at the piece on the right, which is when it was exhibited in University of Connecticut, which the primary audience there were a lot of students, art and design students and engineering students. So can any of you tell me, why did I change the way this was put together? Any thoughts on that?
Come again, Santripti. I didn't hear your question well.
Okay, so the first one is the complete 8 feet by 8 feet piece that I had done, and it was exhibited in an art gallery where city dwellers were coming, art enthusiasts were coming to see it. In the second time I exhibited this piece, we did not put the full 8 by 8, we put only a 6 by 6. However, we still did not have pieces here on the top. If you see, this is missing, this corner is missing. And I can give you some context to this, that the second time it was exhibited, it was in a university setting where there were artists and designers and students of art and design who were coming to see this. They were the primary viewers or audience of this piece. So the reason I would change the way I look at the same work is that when I do the second piece, second phase of this, where it's an incomplete form, it gives me an opportunity to actually push for a provocation within the teaching and learning space. And it stops being only an outcome, but it becomes a work in progress, where here in this particular case, the curator had classes run in this gallery where they would ask their students to imagine and complete the form, right? Or take this motif and try to juxtapose it elsewhere. So these were the ways in which this phase-wise development happened. The same artwork, when it was in the gallery, was a full visual encounter. At the university, learners could sketch, tile, and extend the motif. And when it became a school math, like you see here in the image, they became movable pieces on a horizontal surface. Now understanding proportion, repetition, they can really hold the tile in their hand and see what they can do. And this was just one practice, and it had 3 learning relationships based on just looking at things, imagining things, and actually manipulating them by hand. So this is how it worked for different kinds of learners. For emerging learners, they could sketch what the finished form would look like. For developing learners, they could use the motif to make new tiling patterns. And for advanced learners, the same piece could now talk about advanced mathematics like fractal theory or something like that. And it really depends on how I engaged with the artwork when I actually made it, that how will I bring it into my spaces of teaching and learning. Okay, you might feel, okay, this is a very exciting thing. Sorry. Okay, sorry. One would think that, okay, this is one excited teacher who really wants to bring bring art into her class, or bring the class into her art space. But what is it that the students are gaining from this faculty who also has an active practice? One is that they see us not as teachers on a pedestal, but as co-participants, and we together look for knowledge. So the relationship is much stronger. There is empathy between the teacher and the student, and incomplete form, failures, they become actually lessons for both the sides. And honestly, I would feel with the vulnerability coming into the picture, these two sides actually become one. We sit in a circle, we discuss together, and there's a lot more honesty in the classroom. Because I looked at my teachers who were also practicing architects and practicing artists, I could also start to imagine what my possible future trajectory could look like, because I could see what they are doing. They were not just people who came for a 9-to-5 job, taught and left. They actually had a life beyond that from which we could learn. And if I were to teach only from the books, I would just keep on repeating knowledge that already exists. By actively engaging in creating work that informs the kind of knowledge that we are looking for, we are actually searching for knowledge instead of just, banking on existing knowledge. And hence, like I was saying, there was the classroom and the studio. Now this actually becomes one common space, a shared studio. And this is what happens then. So none of your artworks become end products, and none of the teaching becomes end product. There is no end point anymore. So you make something, then you take that into teaching. And from the teaching, you realize you get opinions from people who are who come from different backgrounds. Sometimes there's a difference of age, sometimes there's a difference of socioeconomic background, geography, or even disciplines. And then you reflect with them on whether this piece of art that I've made in my art world, whether it actually sits in the overall world or not, and what position does it hold. And finally, there's a space to transform not only our teaching but also the artwork, and there's a back and forth that happens. And here teaching plays a crucial role. It is not outside of this loop, it is one of the pieces that actually brings everything else together. And because I teach, I actually oscillate between the spaces of architecture, art, design, and also education. So this is from a classroom. These are zines or small journals that we made in the classroom. This is a class that I was teaching on collegiate teaching. So how do we plan and execute our lessons in a college level classroom? So this is what my students, again, people of my age, we were all talking together and creating a journal for a day one toolkit for emerging teachers. How are we planning for our classroom layout to look like? What are the first questions we're going to ask today in class? what are the things you're a little scared about, what are the things you're a little more scared about, and a word of advice or motivation for our co-teachers. So what you see here is not a whiteboard where I have, proclaimed the answers to the universal truths. This is where everybody works together in these small units, which, if you remember, the purple tiles is again small units that come together to make this full image. The Sanskrit code that I introduced, Tattvamasi, everything comes together, and these zines are actually folded pieces, because I made my own notes this way when I was a student. As a teacher, I used the same tool and many more modifications of this to help my classroom also generate new knowledge. This is a piece on the left. You see a Ganesha head and a flame. Here, there is the narrative of Ganesh being a Hindu god, the shape of his trunk, and the direction it should move. All very visual storytelling. But there is also mathematical decay that you see, that because of which, with a single sheet of paper, you can have the trunk come out in a three-dimensional form. There is calculus involved. That is for a longer conversation, but calculus helped me divide that piece into equal segments, these faint lines that you can see, the creases. Similarly, again, mathematics and three-dimensional mathematics and how material turns and flips onto itself is what is used in this flame, because of which the yellow of the back surface actually comes forth, putting together this flame. That is one narrative. There's math, there is Hindu philosophy, there is the flame. And on the right, what you see are leaves. This is from Rhode Island School of Design's Museum of Arts open studio, where I had people, children, adults, older adults, everybody come in and document what they think the outside looks like, what autumn looks like. It was right before fall. And I taught them how to make these leaves. The one module, one unit, I taught them how to make this leaf. And now let us keep making leaves in different colors and communicating what we see around us. So this is a living journal of what they see and how they document that. Again, this was a little less on teaching, a lot more on sharing an experience. So here's what you could do should you want to sustain an active practice as a faculty. Keep a practice journal. Anything, honestly, anything. If you love doodling, that is your journal. I know people who have an embroidery journal. So whatever they would love to document, questions, classroom queries, responses, moments of ooh and ahs in the classroom, they document it through embroidery, through found object, through writing, voice notes, videos, whatever works. For me, some days it is an origami crane. That really just explains what happened today. So whatever it is, keep that journal, and in most probability, please share it with your students also. My students, both adults and children, have loved to look at the journal to see that this teacher is again not in that hierarchy of teacher is here, she knows it all, and we really need to like just gather knowledge from her. That breaks that kind of system. So that journal is really important. Bring live work to class. It is one thing to come and blabber about it, that I did this, I did that, there was an exhibition that happened. It is another to just carry that work into the classroom. So remember, I spoke about this one transparent box which had some origami models in it. That was the reason, that was one of the primary driving forces why my thesis book transformed from a book to a box, and then it opened always, because I felt like if I'm talking about these three-dimensional geometries, I can't talk of them as flat images. A lot of them actually move, they're kinetic pieces. So I would love for my audience to actually open that box, look at this piece and see it move. And when I talk of these miniature work that I do, I cannot be showing you an image which is a full-blown image on my screen to say that, hey, this is a 8 little bird that I've made. It makes sense to really show them what it is. Just today in the morning at work, I was folding a 1 meter by 1 meter piece of paper, and it was really interesting to see how my children, when they would come and look at it, they would ask, what are you making? Oh, this is a square. So somebody I just introduced the shape square to came and said, oh, this is a square, but when you folded it, it became a triangle, right? They see you as people who are doing their own thing. So now that square and triangle that I taught them in the class are not isolated abstract entities. They are things that their teacher is using live in front of them. And whenever possible, it is always possible, make your sessions participatory. Include moments of creativity in the classroom. This is something that I do as a practice in my classroom. Of course, these are really young children, and it's exciting to do that with them. For the first 15 minutes when they come in, there is art supplies, a lot of reused paper, all sorts of adhesives and colors and everything. And there are no rules. And it's one of the most beautiful moments in the classroom, because I have seen children who are still developing fine motor skills design nesting bags. They make 3 bags, one inside the other. They don't know these words, these complicated words like nesting and proportion, and they will come to it, but they can ideate it. And for the lack of words and for the lack of current knowledge, their creativity should not be inhibited. I have a child who makes zines every single day. He documents his entire day in a zine. He makes laptops out of those. He makes the sun path movement. Now, these are, again, not grade level things for this particular child, but he is observing and he is reflecting in his classroom. When we do mathematics, simple things like addition, subtraction, we are doing it through objects that they actually make. So no matter what field you are an educator in, there is always space to push for that education to be a creative practice, to have children learn kinesthetically, children or adults or older adults, anybody at all, to learn kinesthetically. So when you are seen as somebody who is not only teaching, but also engaging in their own art or practice. If you are a chemistry teacher, you are engaging in conversations around chemistry, which is beyond the table of contents. That brings you, one, closer to the students, closer to the content that you're teaching, but also enlivens the entire classroom. And I think that pushes back onto each other, like, again, the studio and the classroom, the chemistry lab and the classroom, the writing task and the classroom, they all come together to really bring out something much more beautiful, something much more grander than each of them in isolation. And I really wanted to close with one of my latest projects that I worked on. This is a coming together of my interests in folding, in sculpture, architecture, but also my interest in draping cultures. So this was one of the latest confluences that I found in my transdisciplinary work. Is I love wearing saris, I love draping saris, documenting them, but I had yet not invited that as a creative practice. Here in this project, I was looking at how those pleating that I was doing in saris, in isolation of the pleating I was doing in paper, could come together to create something like this. Again, here, if you see these pieces, if you see the fan-like thing here, is the same piece that transforms into a shrug here. this curved piece here, like a shoulder gear, also becomes something on the back or on the neck. So because you look at each thing as an entity that can exist in multiple forms, you look at education itself that can exist in multiple forms. Yeah, and with that, yeah, I close my presentation right here. That's a link to my Instagram where you can see more of my work, and I'm happy to chat with any of you beyond the session also. And thank you so much. We are open to any discussion.
That was amazing, Santrupti.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for your very unique and innovative, thought-provoking lecture here. God bless you. I request anyone from the participant side, could you please wish to interact with Santrupti? It is welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Santrupti, thank you so much for the wonderful, insightful presentation. May I just ask you, out of curiosity, and since I know a little bit more about you, I wish if you can, in a GIF, show us your picture at Times Square, where you were the muse and you are the artist, and the kind of a drape that you had done with the folds. Yeah, if possible, in a GIF, if you can show us, because that still lingers in my mind. Since 2 years that I have seen that picture of of yours, it still lingers in my mind anytime, every time.
I will pull that up.
Ma'am, Aruna ma'am, just wanted to tell you that this young girl, she's really an amazing, talented artist. Where she has been on the drape that she is going to show us now on the slide. She has been at the Times Square, New York, USA, for 3 whole days, standing with that entire attire, which is quite heavy, quite. It's too heavy for a young girl to stand, and standing in that position. And maybe she'll be the right person to explain how she did that, and what made her get there, what she did, and how did she manage for that entire draping and everything. I think she's the best person to talk about it. And please, I wish everyone hears about what she did through her, because it's really an amazing job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Gayatri, ma'am. Exactly. As you said, actually, I could see in her face. The face is the index of mind. So her talent is being visualizing in her face itself. It's not regarding the age, but as I said in the first day of our FDP, that age is not the criteria. We can learn from youngers or elders also. So thank you so much, Santrupti, being a very younger than all of us. You had enlightened all with your very unique work.
Thank you so much. So yeah, this is the piece that she's talking about.
Amazing.
Oh wow, nice.
So this has been designed by another architect, architect Onkar Mitra. He does origami also. He's working in similar fields like me. And this entire dress came packed in one suitcase. It is about 18 kgs, the dress. And since she mentioned the weight of it, I thought it was appropriate to even put that
And
here.
what is the material made with?
Would you like to guess? It's a very common material, especially for all of us teachers.
Oh.
Paper.
So the file cover, no, it's not paper because it's raining here. So we had to move to something very close to paper, but this is not paper. This is polypropylene. You know,
Okay.
like the file covers that we have.
Yeah.
The blue paper that you have, blue plastic
Yeah,
that you have on the binding, the spiral binding, it's
Yeah.
that. So this has
Okay.
been cut. There are metal rods through the whole shape to hold the shape in place. And like a lehenga would, open and close when you twirl, this opens and closes that way. You can look up Onkon's work, Onkon Mitra, and on his profile, you'll see a lot of videos of this. So this was called Art in Odd Places. Again, putting into context the fact that this is wearable art, right? This is by an architect who is trying to reflect on the architecture of Manhattan City in New York. And the oddity of this was, while all of these buildings, this is what is from his artist statement, I'm just quoting him, is the oddity of the high rises of Manhattan City is you look at them, but you can't really reach them. There's like a social statement there. You can't really walk into, let's say, the Empire State just like that, right? It is this huge grand structure, and even somebody who has the slightest visual memory of New York City will remember some of these high rises, but there is a certain sense of distance from them. And that is what happened in this dress. While you could look at it, it has like this 5 feet of periphery. You really can't come close to it. So actually, while I was wearing this dress, I can't shake hands with anybody. So in some ways, this was a space where, that social distance was maintained, which to look at it is a very direct, practical depiction of what socioeconomic boundaries, invisible socioeconomic boundaries exist in the city of Manhattan with its architecture. If you look at it, this is something that economist Jane Jacobs, who speaks about this in her book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, where she is saying this is exactly how a city dies when your spaces do not allow for interaction. And then city planners, the likes of the ones who've done the Hudson Square there, Hudson Yards, have then punctured these spaces to open the buildings up, allow for public to enter. So yeah, this was a dress interpretation of that. And done in the language of folds, which is Onkon's language. Yeah, so there again, you see the transdisciplinarity, you see socioeconomic dialogue, you see architecture, fashion, dress, performance, so live performance and origami. And underlying all of this is material sciences of the plastic, geometry from mathematics, structure from physics and civil engineering. So yeah, that's how we operate in a very transdisciplinary space.
That's amazing.
for-
Amazing.
I'm so
Amazing, Samsruti.
Thank you.
Anybody from the participant side, please interact with the Santrupti.
I see a raised hand.
Sheetal ma'am, do you wish to interact with Santrupti? Santrupti, it's my out of interest. Could you please let me know the societal impact and importance and application of your research work? Your voice is not audible, ma. You are in mute condition.
Hello,
Yes, please.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the first ever lectures I'd given at an international platform was titled community building through folding. So that is one of the social aspects I have seen folding and hence education have, like I entered education through folding, is that when the COVID hit and I was back then doing my architecture thesis, and like all of us were again in our silos doing the work, not knowing how the other is. And then folding became a tool where in Zoom calls like these, we would fold together and I would teach a small workshop to my peers and also use that as a space to actually check in on each other. How are you? Like family members are hospitalized, what is happening? Because usually in a moment of stress, you wouldn't just, start calling people up and telling them that I'm in stress. But once you ease out a little bit, and not only folding, a lot of our hand-based art forms, embroidery, knitting, if I go back to my grandparents' generation or even my mom's generation, they used to sit together in groups, knit and chat or cook and chat. And we've seen these images around us and they become spaces for social dialogue and hence for change, right? So one is that. The other is we've been using folding and workshops with folding in the therapeutic aspects. So especially for palliative care in oncological cases, where the allopathic medicine is doing what it has to do. Family is doing what they have to do. However, there is a lot of fatigue, both in the caregiver and the patient. So you could use folding, you could use any of these creative measures to siphon some of that out. Also, once you keep doing it, there is some research, we still are waiting for Indian research, but there is some international research that says that folding actually improves your hand-eye coordination, your thinking capacity, because it does have on its back end so much of math involved. Cognitive thinking is there, metacognitive thinking is also there. And so it does help you with both sides of your brain. There is the physical activity happening. There have been cases of arthritis where people's fingers have stopped working and they're not very confident. So we give them smaller projects, and folding is something that could give you an instant gratification. You can literally make a butterfly in like 5 steps or a heart in 10 steps. But it can also be an opportunity for delayed gratification. Similar to how knitting is. You can knit a really small flower, but you can also knit a full bed cover. So that is the social aspect that we've been working on.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
And anything else from the participant side?
Yeah, Santrupti, can I just ask you one more point? How did you relate or use your, even now I wonder, how come a student with a background of engineering, that too from School of Planning and Architecture, what they groom, how the groomed disciples will come out and how they are nurtured for 4 years. And we see Santrupti coming out with a unique and a different and an entirely a butterfly which you have never seen coming out from such kind of species who are emerging. Of course, everybody has their unique way and a talent. I do agree for that. But how come this kind of schooling and planning architecture has given birth to a girl who has become an artist in the making? And how did you turn out to be now the way you are with that kind of a background? I'm curious to know more about your background. What made you come here? Not just only the personal and the family background, but the professional side as well.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for that question. As architecture came later, the art came first, is the simpler answer. But again, architecture paved way for that art to transition from a hobby to actually a practice, a professional practice. So I was folding, the earliest documented work I have of origami is from when I was 4 years old. Might have folded before that. But I loved making these three-dimensional objects when my other peers were still working with two-dimensional objects. So for a child, it was a differentiating factor. And then I loved gifting these things to people. Oh, look, I made a flower for you. I made a card for you. I made this, that, right? And those of you who know me personally know that I just have boxes and boxes of paper folded around me. So that is where it was. When I went into architecture school, I could see that, oh, people are actually using this. This is actually a part of curriculum. We had folding as one of the studios, 1 or 2 days in the whole 5 years of course, which stayed in the back of my head. And when I went for my master's in education, I really wanted to design a full course in folding. So the thesis that you saw, the box, was actually a 16-week course in folding. So from what I really wanted to do for myself to how I was looking at this could be an overarching thing for the community also. Then as a student of architecture, like you rightly mentioned, there's a lot of rigorous training that happens. I was also very, very excited to understand why are they making us do this? The why was very important for me. And I think educators around me also helped in that way, where they would also ask us, why is the cantilever this long? Why is the light this way? Why is this? So the why and why not have been really important driving forces for me. Why to back what I'm already doing, and why not to find out new avenues to go into. From there, starting off with doing installations for the fests and training my peers and seniors. One of my first workshops was for a year older than me. That started to make it comfortable for me to actually teach people who are much older, younger. So age stopped being a barrier. So there I was transcending the preconceived notion of the teacher has to, have so many years of experience before they can teach. A teacher can teach whatever they learned today. And isn't that also how we scaffold our lessons for somebody who's finished their work earlier than the others? We tell them that, okay, go teach somebody else. So they're teaching what they just learned. So there I became more and more comfortable with teaching. What you ask about transitioning from architecture to teaching or art, I'd say highlight that most people who graduate from School of Planning and Architecture, or today most undergraduate courses, are actually diversifying into their fields of interest, which is a big alarm for all of us who design curricula, that whether is the academic side of the profession the same as the industry. That said, we also build in a lot of skills to diversify and go into these different fields. I know a lot of my peers who are trained as architects become filmmakers. I know so many of them who are fashion designers today, who are who run their own sari industries today. So that happens. The diversification happens. How we weave all of that together is what I find really exciting. And like I mentioned, I would have taught sooner or later. When I realized that you can teach while you're still learning is where that expedited the whole process for me. And teaching came right adjacent to learning.
Good. Thank you, Santrupti.
Thank you.
Thank you, Santrupti. Thank you, Dr. Gayatri ma'am. Because of you, I met two shining stars. Yesterday Srikar and today Santrupti. Being very youngers, they are doing splendid jobs in their own respective domains. which we can learn something from them, the way they are presenting, the way they are working on that, and the passion towards their work, and the novelty and the need of hour of their work also. Thank you so much, Dr. Gayatri ma'am, for making them to be introduced to the Sadhvi Foundation, and thereby they are also paved their own stepping stones to this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with the permission of all distinguished guests and speakers and participants, I would like to honor today's two speakers. So let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. This is a small token of gratitude, Sandrupti. Being a distinguished speaker, it's my pleasure to honor you with this certificate for 2 weeks International FDP. Thank you so much, Sandrupti Das, for your valuable time for this auspicious event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And I wish to extend my heartfelt thanks to another speaker today's day 3 of this 2 week International FTP, J. Vijay Chandra sir. Here it is your certificate, sir. Please accept our felicitation. Thank you so much. So that's all about day 3 of our 15 days journey. Tomorrow again, let us meet by 5:40. So to have some more explorations by another two distinguished speakers of to day 4 also tomorrow. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and getting explored by having these lectures. Thank you so much and have a great day. Good night to one and all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So officially, I'm ending the meeting now. It's exactly 8 p.m. Today we are on time.
Yes, ma'am. Today we are on time.
Yes.
And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to bring these two young researchers onto a platform. What best and what good space can they have other than a platform like SIDBI Foundation? If not for you, if not for the SIDBI Foundation, they wouldn't be known by such a larger audience because they are still at their prime and they are doing their best. They've just started their career. They are just making some great work. So I too thought that this is the best space. If SIDBI can proudly appreciate them and applaud them and recognize them, then the world is already in front of them. That's what I thought. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to bring up these two young, energetic artists to our forum. And I really thank you from the bottom of my heart once again. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Actually, if our jury member Srinivas Rao sir is with us, then definitely he will suggest these two guys for our award ceremonies. So coming June 4th and 5th, we are going to organize one international award ceremony, namely Prajna. So I myself thinking that these two guys are aptly suits that particular title of award ceremony Prajna. If you please have a talk with them, and you also can nominate as a jury member of SIDBI Foundation. You also can nominate them. Please think on that way, because I myself feel that these are the deserved persons. These two guys are the deserved persons for getting Prajna awards.
Sure, ma'am. I will definitely talk to Shrikar and Santrupti too, and I will definitely get back to you. And thanks for giving this point to our mind. Yeah, you're taking them further, not only just giving them and recognizing their work or their art. You're even recognizing them and rewarding them too. So what best can something happen for them? So may God bless them. by having a good rapport with them and introduction to their work over here. Thank you, ma'am. I will get back to them.
And as a CEO for SIDBI Foundation, I'm announcing these two guys as life members of SIDBI Foundation, and I'm about to send the life membership certificate also for them.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really wonderful. That's really, really, really wonderful. Because I know the pleasure of becoming a member and a life member to great organizations. And one such great organization is SIDBI. Because every one of us would want to become members to very good organizations. Lifetime membership is really an honor. And if not for money, how do we really get that kind? It is more than money. It is more than anything else. It is more than a precious metal. Yeah, it's really something that you are invaluable one you're giving to both these youngsters. I really thank on their behalf. I should thank you for that. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks a lot to all the participants of today event and the 2-week International FDP program. Let us meet tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you. Shall I end this meeting, ma'am, officially?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.